You cannot let a fear of failure or a fear of comparison or a fear of judgment stop you from doing what's going to make you great. You cannot succeed without this risk of failure. You cannot have a voice without the risk of criticism. You must go out and you must take these risks. None of it comes easy. Be willing to fail. Fail, pick yourself up, and fail again. Because without this struggle, what is your success anyway? Look, as best we know it, we have one life. In it, you have to trust your own voice, your own ideas, and through this, you will find your way. Just don't let fear stop.
Not only, guys, the amount of self-isolation I had to put myself through creating this business is an insane amount. I can't tell you how many times I've sat in this truck or I sat in my car thinking, is all this really worth that investment I put into myself? Is all this really worth those long nights on the road, sleeping in my truck, trying to figure out what to do if this doesn't work out? Because I left a good 9-to-5 job. I was probably putting in about $70,000 a year at 22 years old. I left that job in order to pursue this at 23 years old, pursue this company at 23 years old. And realizing that becomes a lot of pressure on you, because I was already out on my own. My family thought I was doing good, doing what I was doing, and up and behold, I quit my job and I go full on into this entrepreneur journey, this construction business owner journey, this whole content creator journey. And I got so many questionable thoughts and questionable doubts in myself, but I also got so much negativity from people around me, not necessarily my friends, but what's surprising was most of people that I thought I considered family were like, you sure that's the right move? You have $70,000 a year job and you're going to something that doesn't guarantee anything? And I'm like, yes, I am. And I got called stupid. I got called you're ridiculous. I got called you're delusional. And I'm like, you know what? I might have been all three of those things at the same time at that certain time. But I promise you one thing: when I told myself I was going to do this, I was going to do this balls to the wall, foot on the gas pedal. I'm not letting up until I die or get this thing off the ground. And we're off the ground, but it took a lot of no's. It took a lot of questionable faces when I told people or my family what I was doing. And some were in support and some weren't. Some looked at me like, oh, you're crazy, it's not going to work. Or they always said, you could always go back to your old job. I'd be damned. That is my worst fear. My worst fear is going back to what I was before. Because honestly, the person I was when I was working a good job, I was not the best person. I was not the best boyfriend. I was not the best friend. I was not the best son. And all this journey that I've been on with this whole new business has gotten me to be a better person, I think. I've gotten to realize a lot about myself, and I've come to realize that not everything is what it seems. Not everything is what I should be settling for. Not everything is what I should take it as it is. A lot of the times I found myself, I'm going to say starving, not physically, but starving mentally and starving for something more. I was always starving for something greater, starving for something with my name on it, starving for something that actually made a difference or meant something to people. And that's what I ultimately want to do with, like I said, with this business and this content stuff, which is why you can see my YouTube's a little bit of the entrepreneur lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle, a gym lifestyle, whatever it is. It's just me talking and vlogging my life. But yeah, it takes a lot of criticism when you first start something. And then the crazy thing is when people start to believe in you, start to see the success, or start to see, wow, you're making things happen, then you're like, man, where was that support 5 months ago or a year ago? But then it just shows you who's in your corner and who isn't. A lot of the times I am in my corner, I had help when I first started, mostly money help. I had a good initial investment, but I didn't have a lot of inside corner to running a business. I had to figure that out for myself. But that's where it comes with being self-taught. I was always self-taught. I was not a good student. I barely graduated high school. Thank God to COVID, they all let us just graduate, and that was a blessing. And then I did end up going to college for 2 years. I went to a community college in Whiteville called Southeastern Community College. I mainly went there to play baseball. That was my last school of choice, in all honesty, and I'm not gonna lie. Where I started is pretty surreal. I kind of like I don't know how I want to be I'm gonna be careful with these words or this thought. I like to talk about my college experience because it was almost like a Last Chance U. If you guys haven't seen Last Chance U, it was a thing back in like the COVID era in high school of like 2018 to 2021. But that was honestly my college experience. I was a baseball player. I had decent grades. Well, actually, no, I didn't. But fairly decent ball player. I played JUCO. But I had a pretty damn good opportunity coming out of high school. But your boy effed it up and ended up losing 2 scholarships. Not 1, but 2 after I got in a little incident in the summer of 2020. And it was my fault. I should have controlled my head better. I should have controlled my reactions better. But we were 18. We were actually 17. But yeah, I definitely ruined a lot of things back in that time period. And then I ended up going to a JUCO down in Whiteville, North Carolina. But honestly, that really created my whole dog mentality. That created my whole mentality to not saying no for an answer, to not accepting no for an answer, to not accepting the bare minimum, to not accepting what the world tells you are. No, I made shit happen. I always will. I always have. So, to me, this business gives me that, and it allows me to. I think I'm making a big name for myself, or I will one day. The content stuff's pretty fun. I still think it's kind of slowly paced, but yeah, I hand my JUCO experience, my college experience, I hand a lot of that happening to my mentality today, because for those of you who know, JUCO is crazy, but I can get into that in another video. I don't really want to talk about the JUCO process too much, but I loved it. It made me who I am today, and it made me a dog. Honestly, it made me an absolute fucking dog. But back to the whole what does it take to run a business. Honestly, I love being called delusional. Being called delusional is my most favorite comment, or my most favorite insult, because to me it means, oh, I'm being delusional about what I think can happen. What is the point of not being delusional? Why would you not be delusional? Why would you not be delusional about your partner? Why would you not be delusional about your school? Why would you not be delusional about your business? Whatever it is that you're passionate about, why would you not be delusional about it? Don't you want to obsess over something? That's the point of life, is having a goal. The point of life is putting your all into something while you're here. That's what I think life truly is. Be delusional about your passion. Be delusional about yourself. Whatever it is, take everything into it. Like I said, I love the word delusional. I love it. I love being called that because it means, dang, I guess people see I'm doing something right, and they see I really care about this, and I do. And I love having to tell people, oh, I'm going to run the best concrete coating business in North Carolina, or maybe take this nationwide. I don't know, but I'm going to be delusional about it. I'm going to tell myself I can't do that. I'm going to tell myself, yeah, I'm going to make $100K a year. Oh, by 2026, I'm going to make, the end of 2026, I'm going to have $300,000. Whatever it is, go crazy about it. Like I said, it can be a person, it can be your business, whatever it is, be passionate about something. And to me, that is very key to running a business, is you got to believe it works. You got to believe it's all going to come okay. You got to believe the bad months will be good months, and the good months will be greater months. You got to believe no matter where you start, no matter what kind of chances you get, no matter what, you got to know it's going to work out. It's going to work out. Even when you have $2,000 left in your name. And honestly, that's what I had when I started this. I had $2,000. I spent my last $2,000 on my investment with this company. And yes, I had some family help after that, but I had to take that risk of spending $2,000 that I could have used for paying rent, and I was short on rent during that time period. But look where I'm at now. It was the risk I was willing to take, and I'm so glad I did it. Not just be saying I don't have terrible months. I do, but that's part of business, and that's what it comes to, understanding that when you do run something of your own, that it is all on you, and you're going to have those kind of months, but you can't let those months tear you down, or that year tear you down, or that job tear you down. Everything is a lesson. Everything is a learning experience. And I love the saying, you cannot fail if you don't quit. You cannot fail if you don't quit. The only reason people say they failed is because they quit doing that thing. I keep seeing this all over my feed, and I love it. I want to repost it and talk about it. That's pretty much just talk about it. What if you were 10 failures away from having your dream? Only 10 failures. How fast would you want to fail at this, fail at that? How fast would you fail in a month to guarantee that 11th time you try, it is a success? That 11th time you try, after those past 10 failures or those past 10 lessons, that 11th time was your time. That 11th time God says, here it is, here's everything you prayed for, everything you worked for. What if you failed 10 times and that 11th time you were guaranteed success? So to me, there's no excuse for not trying something. There's no excuse for quitting. There's no excuse for any of that. Everything you do and everything you try, everything you talk about has an opportunity to be successful. It's just a matter of what you do and how you applicate, or how you apply your ideas, the things you talk about, to your daily life. Your daily routine and your normal week should be a reflection of who you want to be. And I'm not the best guy at that. I tend to get distracted, but hey, we're human and we all do. But like I said, all of this comes back to that mentality of running a business. You got to be okay with losing sleep. You got to be okay with the FOMO, fear of missing out. And I'm getting better at that. I used to have fear of, oh, my friends are going out downtown and they're all going to eat. But I know it's probably not the best idea for me when I have to get work done, or there were times when I let alcohol control me, and it would lead into bad interactions or bad temptations or whatever it is. It wasn't a good outcome that day. So for me, the whole FOMO thing, I'm getting good at, and I'm enjoying not having to be at a certain place anymore. But you lose people, but it is what it is. The people that stick around are the ones that stick around. Like I said, that just comes with the whole, what does it take to run a business mindset, and that's what this whole video is about. And I'm glad you guys are willing to watch and listen to me, because I've had a crazy experience doing this whole entrepreneur business journey, and I love it. I'm so excited to see where this takes us. I think I want to talk to you guys about what I have to do to get sales and what I have to do to secure jobs, because like I said, all that goes into running a business. So I think later in this clip, I'm going to show you guys, or talk to you guys about how I get sales and get business. So I'll see you guys in a little bit, and see you there.